Hey guys, it's Remote Helper back with another video review for you guys. Today on the iPEGA PG-9025 controller. This is a wireless Bluetooth remote for the Android platform. It's supposed to be an alternative for using the touchscreen. A lot of you guys that are serious gamers on the mobile platform will appreciate this a lot. And for a long time, these controllers were quite expensive. A good MOGA similar to this would cost you $50. However, this can be had as low as $20 on Amazon. Links down below to where you can get this. So, is this the cheap answer to mobile gaming on your phone? This is what the controller looks like up close. It's similar in layout to an Xbox 360 remote, just a little bit smaller. It feels alright in the hands. The buttons are pretty nicely placed. I find the joysticks to feel a little bit awkward for some reason. It could just be me. They definitely feel a lot better than using the touchscreen when playing games though. So I don't have the paperwork for this anymore. I threw it away with a box. But what you do have to know is that to turn this thing on, you hold one of these 4 buttons as well as the home button. So each of these actually forms a different function for the controller. B, for instance, will put it in a mode that emulates another Bluetooth controller. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what controller it was that this is supposed to emulate because I never used the mode. I only really use Y and X. So when you hold down the A button and home, that puts it in a pairing mode where this emulates a keyboard. Holding down the X button and the home button will put the pairing mode to game controller mode. This is the standard game controller mode that Android recognizes, and the media controls work only in this mode. Only certain games recognize this mode, unfortunately. I found that games like Modern Combat and Real Racing make the best use of this mode. Gameloft games in general seem to work best with this controller. Unfortunately, games like Need for Speed Most Wanted, which are compatible with the MOGA controller, are not compatible with this. The last mode is the Y button. This is Spp Mode. I'm not sure what SPP is supposed to stand for. All that I know is that it works kind of the same as X mode, except that the media controls don't work. However, this mode allows it to pair with Bluetooth drivers besides the default Android driver. So if you're using an application such as TinCore, you want to push down the Y button and the home button to turn it on and put it in this pairing mode, because this is the mode that the controller has to be in to function properly with TinCore. Anyways, out of the box, you'll pretty much find just a controller and the micro USB cable to charge it. If you have an Android, it's nice that it takes this kind of plug, because it means that it'll also work on your phone. So the same phone charger that you use will be the one for your phone. By the way, I know that this controller works well with Androids, however, I am not certain of its compatibility on iOS. It may also be worth noting that only certain phones will fit in the grips of this controller. I've heard that the Note 4, for instance, doesn't fit, unfortunately. There are other ways to mount it. You can get a case and put a little hole in it. But on my Galaxy S3, and I've heard the Galaxy S4 fit just fine. So if you have a phone similar in size to this, you should be fine. So the battery life of this controller is pretty decent. The manufacturer claims 20 hours, but from my experience, I've gotten more like 12 to 15. That being said, 12 to 15 hours is still pretty good for a controller that only costs 20 bucks. Unfortunately, where this controller really fails is in being user-friendly. This controller was really hard for me to set up. It took a long time and a lot of trial and error before I was able to get it to connect and function properly on my phone. And even then, I ran into some hiccups. For instance, when pairing this in gamepad mode, as I demonstrated earlier, and playing Nintendo 64oid, which is a Nintendo 64 emulator, I found that for some reason this left pad here wouldn't register properly, and this joystick registered as a D-pad. Another issue I ran into was actually nothing to do with the Android, but iPEGA claims that you can use this on your PC. So I tried pairing this to my PC, and I found that it kinda works. It took me a few tries before it worked. I don't know why. Even when I got this to work on my computer, this joystick here, this troublesome joystick that didn't work with N64oid, wouldn't register properly. It would register up and down movements, but not side to side. So overall, out of a rating of 10, I give this a 7 out of 10. It loses a few points for being so hard to set up, but it gains a couple from being so cheap compared to its competition. I would recommend this controller to you guys if you're in the market for a Moga controller or some other similar controller, but you don't want to drop that much money and you're willing to put in the time to figure out how to get this thing to work, and you're willing to bet that this is going to work on your phone without any problems. Besides that, I'd say go for a Moga controller because they're easier to set up and the compatibility list out of the box is much wider than this is. So what have your experiences been with this controller? Let me know in the comments, subscribe, like, see you guys next episode.